You're suing for 3 months' rent you want refunded because there is no air conditioning in your apartment. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so tell me about it.
I just graduated from college, and
Congratulations.
thank you so much. And so I was really excited to finally move out, get my own place. I was working 2 jobs, so I saved up to get my own apartment. And
What are you doing, sir?
As you get to know Barry, you'll see her rambling can get a little annoying.
What?
Withdraw the comment.
Yeah.
anyway, Your Honor, so I was really excited to get out and move in. I'm an only child, so I need my own space. So I was excited to get my own place and not have to share a bathroom with my roommate. So I went apartment shopping, and I stopped at Mr. Ayers' apartment complex. He showed me around. I loved it. It was really cute. It checked off everything that I wanted. I wanted to have access to a laundry room and dishwasher, and most important, air conditioning. And I made sure that he was gonna provide all this in the apartment before I signed the lease. So everything was perfect. I loved it. I signed the lease in April for 6 months, and I mean, it was a really cute place. I decorated it in pink, and the first month in April, everything went well. It was cool, so I didn't have to turn on the AC.
Where were you living?
I was living in Dallas, Texas.
April was cool in Dallas?
For Dallas, yes.
Oh, okay.
Not for like in LA, but it was, it was good in Dallas. So I didn't need to turn on the AC. I was having my apartment warming parties. Everything was going well. Then come May, that's when it got really bad. It would be like 95 degrees.
In your apartment or outside?
Outside.
Okay.
And so I would turn on the AC, and it would only cool my apartment to 80 degrees. And I was miserable. And you know how in Texas, it's very humid. I would get my hair done, like pay $100 to get my hair straightened. And then it would just curl back up. So that's why, I have my hair curly now. Because I just, couldn't.
Don't waste your money.
Right, I was wasting my money. So, I got very frustrated because it wouldn't cool to anything below 80. So I went into the management office, and I complained and told them the situation. They told me that they would send out a technician to see what the problem was. However, the technician didn't come till like 4 days later.
He was there the next day. She wasn't home.
I didn't hear that. Keep talking.
Anyway, Your Honor, 4 miserable long days. He did not come out and check. And then when he did come to check, he told me that everything was okay, that the AC was working properly. And I'm like, it's not okay. Like, is he in Antarctica in his head or something? Because it's clearly like
He said
a
it was
desert.
working properly.
Yes.
Now, properly is one of those phrases where it depends upon what type of air conditioning unit it was. It may have been working properly, just wasn't cooling it enough for you.
No.
So then what happened?
So I was like, okay, maybe I can just stick through this. I'm just going to have to start wearing my hair curly, find other solutions. I bought fans. And I don't know, it just never got better. Like, as the next week went on, it was like 100 degrees out. It was crazy. So now the inside of my apartment is like 85, sometimes 90 degrees. I couldn't sleep at night. I was cranky because I was always hot and
So how long did you stay there?
I stayed there for 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was unbearable though. I couldn't take it anymore. So I sent in another email to management, and they didn't respond. Like, they never answered my email. I'm like, this is not Southern hospitality.
So what kind of notice did you give them that you were moving?
I told them that if they did not fix the situation, then I'm gonna have to consider moving somewhere else because it's not livable. I wouldn't even wish my worst enemy to live in this environment.
So you moved after 3 months?
Yes, I had to.
Coming up.
You want him to pay you for the 3 months you stayed there?
Yes. It was like I was living in a desert, Your
So you
Honor.
paid rent for 3 months, $3,300, and that's what you're asking him to pay?
Yes, yes, it was crazy.
And he's not asking you to pay for the 3 months that you left?
Well, initially he wanted to,
Well, but he didn't. I don't see that.
I don't expect
Okay,
for
so
him
Mr.
to.
Iyer, talk to me.
First of all, Judge Maybelline, you put yourself best a moment ago saying the word properly may have
Air
given me a different
conditioning
thing.
working properly.
Yeah, yes, perhaps it's not cool enough for her. You know, there was nothing in the lease about the air conditioning making the apartment cool enough for Ms. Benson here. Simply said, and air conditioning,
You
which
said-
we provided.
Right.
So
Did you provide air conditioning?
absolutely.
What
And,
type of unit or air conditioning service did you provide?
it's a chiller unit.
A chiller, what's that?
It's basically a central unit which is water operated and sends cool air throughout the building. You know,
And
it's
how many units in the building?
60.
60? And how many stories? 1, 2, 3 stories?
2.
And where was her apartment? 2 stories, second story?
You know, the second story.
Oh, so the air is cooler from the bottom, and as you go up, it's hot, right?
It does vary like that, correct?
Okay, so it's an air conditioning chilling system, and what is the lowest temperature that it will get to in the summer or when the temperature's hot?
That can really vary based on what the temperature outside is and how many people
That's
are
what
using
I said.
it.
You said working properly. What can one expect the temperature to get down to when it's 100 degrees outside with an air conditioner chiller?
Well, depend. If only a few people are using it, perhaps during the daytime, then it can go all the way down to the 60s, honestly.
No.
Okay,
no,
but
no,
if everybody, 40% of the people are home, it's going to get to what?
For the people in the closer units, it can still get the 70s. For the ones further away, perhaps the low 80s.
So that's what that thing is, and you call that air conditioning.
Well, it does qualify. Yeah, that's what's been called ever since it was
Okay, so
invented.
when she told you she wanted to leave, did you allow her to break the lease?
No, we have a policy that you can't sublet at least that's 6 months or shorter, or break it. Certainly not break it.
But
once
you're not suing her for those 3 months.
No, I just want to keep the money she gave me for the time she's already staying there. That's reasonable, isn't it?
I
Which
think
was
so.
miserable. I was miserable, Your Honor.
You may have been miserable, but under the law, even in the state of Texas, the landlord is not even required to provide air conditioning. They don't have to provide air conditioning. Believe it or not, it's called habitability standard. And if it's 80 degrees, it may have been 100 degrees outside, that's the way. That's why when the temperatures get so hot, and they tell you over and over and over, if you're in a property that does not have air conditioning, does not cool off, go to the library, go to the malls, go to the movies, and you hear the advertising all day long, get somewhere where you can get cool. But under the law, a landlord, believe it or not, is not required to provide you air conditioning. That's comfort. That's not a requirement.
And
as hot as Texas gets. So you got to quit while you're ahead. He didn't ask you for the next 3 months. He could have come in here and asking for $3,300 from you. And you certainly aren't entitled to get it back because you stayed there. So he provided you a place to live for 3 months, what you asked for.
But my problem was, Your Honor, I tried all the solutions.
I got that. I heard all of your problems. Did you hear what I said? What
Yes,
said?
I did, Your
Repeat
Honor.
it back to me.
You said that it's not a requirement.
So if
That's
it's
just
not a requirement, then
comfort.
how can I punish him and tell him to pay you back?
Because he didn't try to work with me. He didn't offer
Why does he
any
have to work with you?
solutions.
He's not required to cool your place any kind of way. How about that?
Your Honor, I paid all the money I was paying. He
Okay,
could-
you're not going to hear me. I'm not going to argue. I don't argue with people. You can either hear me or not, but I don't argue. The law does not require a landlord to provide air conditioning. There are many units all over the United States that don't have air conditioning. That is why in most cities we recognize that not having air could cause deaths, could cause heat strokes, etc. So there are provisions. Usually the government will keep the library open. They'll open up the movies. They'll open up the malls. Sometimes they even open up city government offices and buildings so people can keep cool when it is excessive, when the heat is excessive. So you have to find alternatives. You could have bought you a little fan.
I did, Your Honor. It was just circulating hot air.
Right, because it's hot outside.
It was unbearable. And I did, Your Honor. I tried to move.
So next time when you go rent a building, instead of saying air conditioning, make sure it's central air and heating in each unit. Yeah. Now that was your first apartment experience, you've learned something from it. Now you know to look a little deeper in terms of air conditioning, okay?
Okay.
Judgment for the defendant.
Judge Maybelline has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.